Hello milk glass collectors. I want to show you my USS Maine that I recently added to my fleet, purchased on eBay, and the differences between different Maines that at first appearance you would think were made at the same time from the same mold. I have 4 of them. One is packed away because the bottom is badly broken, but there are big differences between these ships. First thing you'll notice is what I consider the oldest model, and it's called the beaded roof model because it does have a beaded roof, and these other ones have a smooth roof, is that the lid fits better. Higher quality piece, probably the first of the run, first of the design. And you know it's the USS Maine, and a lot of people will overlook this, including the person I bought it from, because the word Maine is printed right here in the front on the top. And they're all 3 the same that way. But the differences come with the open capstan. This has closed capstan. The beaded roof, as I pointed out, smooth roof. And other anomalies are, like on the base here, the size of the links in the chain vary. You might not be able to see it on the one I just got, but these are closer to square. These are closer to a full rectangle. Some of the filigree differs a little bit. How many links in the chain? This one has 8. This one has 7. It's, you know, the differences, and there's even differences between these two, which were made probably on the same day from 2 different molds, as they ran a big production run. These were very popular after the Spanish-American War, with a number of dots in the windows. There's like 5 here and only 3 over here. And other big differences are, I'll show you the inside of this lid. You see how there are holes going up the chimneys. That was molded in. And on this one, there's no holes in the chimney. There's a little dent there. And even a smaller dent on this one. It's going to be hard to show on the camera, but the size of the cannons, the width of them on here is different. These are fatter. These are more compact. I'm sorry, this one's more compact. These 2 are fatter. It's assumed that these were made for the Flaccus company to distribute food goods in. Mustard, prunes, whatever they were featuring at the time. They were a pretty large food company at the turn of the century, 1890s, 1900s. And they made a lot of decorative food packages to distinguish themselves from others. That was the whole game back then. The glass companies, some of them actually had their own products, like Westmoreland Specialty Company made their own mustards, and they made their own glass to put the mustard in. And they'd do everything from schoolhouses to banks to cats to dogs, just all kinds of things. It's very collectible. So this is the 3 different versions of the USS Maine. They all have very, very similar, but all have small differences. It's almost impossible to tell which one you may have, but I believe the most desirable and the most valuable is the oldest, better made, better detail model with the beaded roof. It appears in Frank Scherenz's book, Milk Glass, as being very desirable and very few known. So I'm very pleased to have two, even though one is badly damaged. This one does have a small chip in it on the lid, which the seller failed to point out. You can see it right there next to my palm. But when glass is over 120 years old, some chipping, that's a pretty big chip. What they call flea bites and roughness is pretty much to be expected and accepted. Of course, the nicer one you have free of chips is more valuable. And retaining the original paint, the one that pictured in Frank Scherenz's book is gloriously painted multi-colors and retained most of its paint. This one here has most of its paint gone. This one here just has a little spot of it left. This one may have never been painted. They didn't paint them all because they just went out to the stores to be sold with mustard or jellies or whatever in them. Cherries, jams, whatever. So that's a comparison of three different versions of the USS Battleship Maine. There are many other versions that were made later. I think this is one of the most desirable boats. Turn the camera off a second, I'll show you some other boats. There's Uncle Sam boat, and a boat that came with a paper label. They called it the Olympia, the Wheeling, and I think it had one other name, and in fact there was a totally different boat. Slackus was big on boats. There is one model of this that is actually signed on the bottom with a Flackus signature in big script. That one's packed away, and I forget what it looks like, but I know I have one that says Flackus in big letters on it. Toot toot! Hope you enjoyed the video. Give me a big thumbs up there, people.